Hello, everyone. Nadia Rousseau here, founder and CEO of Alter New Media, with an exciting interview with the founder and CEO of Rentberry, Oleksiy Lubinsky. We're going to get into all the things, the beginning, the middle, and not even close to the end. Welcome to Transformative CEOs. Thank you for being here with me. This is really an exciting conversation. I'm so looking forward to it.
Yep, same here. Hi, nice to meet everybody. And yeah, let's start.
Yeah, so let's get into it. So I typically like to understand a little bit more about the kind of where it all started, especially because so many entrepreneurs, they think they see a huge amount of success, all of the money raised, all of the momentum, and they, for whatever reason, think that's where it started, when in reality, you've been going at it for quite some time. In fact, you started as an investment banker before Rentberry. So what was going on? Like, what did you see in the rental market all the way back in 2014 that was the impetus for leaving that role and starting the business?
Thanks, Nadia, for the question. You're absolutely right. I was a finance guy, essentially investment banker, and finance executive for the most of my life. But then in 2014, 2015, I was looking to rent a place in a city in San Francisco, and it took almost 3 months to actually find and rent the place. So the process was very, very inefficient. All of the platforms, or so-called real estate platforms, such as Craigslist, Zillow, Zumper, Trulia, all of them are essentially classified websites. And what I mean by this is that they offer very limited functionality, essentially just a discovery piece in the rental process, where you go, you look at the pictures, you look at the description of the property, but that's pretty much it. After this, you actually need to go manually by yourself and to do everything else, submit paper applications, participate in absolutely non-transparent application process where you have no idea who else is applying and what they are offering, how competitive specific place might be, mailing paper checks, calling landlords, emailing them without getting response right away. So lots and lots of inefficiencies. And I decided at that time, why not build an absolutely closed loop rental platform where all of the rental tasks would be done in one place, starting from the discovery, but at the same time, not just discovery component, but all other rental components combined into one single platform, into one essentially system. And that was a pure success. So from 2014, we grew to almost 50 people, and nowadays we are absolutely dominating in the space of closed loop rental technology. This year, we actually the first company to release AI real estate agent. So we're dominating in the AI space when it comes to the real estate specifically. So yeah, it started as a finance guy. Then I saw the problem and decided to change the way the industry operates, real estate specifically, and we were very successful in that.
How overwhelming was it to go straight from finance into tech like that? Was it challenging to assemble a team? Did you already know people who were in tech? Naturally, you were in San Francisco, which is pretty much like the hub of tech.
Pretty much all of my family is in the technology space. And you're absolutely right. We were living in San Francisco, and till nowadays, we still based in Silicon Valley, where tech is dominant industry. So when it comes to the finding the right people, it was not so much of a problem. But we went even further. We said, why not optimize the costs? Like many startups, for example, in Silicon Valley, they raise money, they hire people in Silicon Valley, they have a huge burn rate, so they spend a lot of money right away, and then basically it's all about survival mode, and many of them actually go bankrupt. So when it comes to us, yes, we raised a lot of money, but at the same time, we said, why not, save and preserve this cash and optimize it? So that's why our team is actually a bit dynamic. I would say they are not so much located in Silicon Valley, and I'm specifically talking about engineers, but they are in Europe. and some other parts in the United States, but not in the kind of most expensive hub such as San Francisco or Palo Alto. Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. That's the way to do it. I mean, obviously, my business much different than what you're doing, but I've always had a team that's fairly decentralized and always remote. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you went remote post-pandemic." I'm like, "No. We've always been remote." So, I appreciate you sharing that note because a lot of people, they're like, "Huh, like I want to pivot to this," and it's like very overwhelming, but it
Mhm.
seems like you navigated that transition with a lot of ease. And I'm also curious because back in 2015, I mean, that's when like we see all of the hype around Airbnb and all of these
Mhm.
other, short-term rentals and whatnot. So you went in the other direction. Why is that?
Yeah, so Airbnb, we actually looked at Airbnb very closely, and I'll be upfront. We copied some things of how Airbnb did marketing in the initial phase. So some of those things we also did it, but yeah, Airbnb concentrated on the short-term rental space, essentially, like the hotel industry. But when we were looking at the space, we said, okay, what is the largest market? And definitely the largest market by far is a long-term rental space. Um, and that's basically where we decided to concentrate in order not to compete with Airbnb because they have a great product, they have a great team. But when you look at the long-term rental space, that space had a huge gap essentially, because everybody else was competing against kind of like a listicles, essentially classified information with the limited data. But we said, why not do a closed loop, rental solution like Airbnb essentially, but for the long-term rental space. And if Airbnb was the first company in the short-term rental space, we essentially dominated and became the first company transitioned essentially to the long-term rental space. Um, uh, in about 2018, 2019, we also started integrating the properties for sale. So we also right now operate in that market as well. So it's not just rentals, but it's also property sales available on our platform. And then
Oh, wow.
in 2022, 2023, we started basically expanding internationally at the very fast pace. So now we are operational in more than 90 countries worldwide. So if comparing to Airbnb, we are basically getting there in terms of the dominance, international dominance, and not a single company except us, except Rentberry, operates in so many countries. I think Zillow only operates in Canada and the United States, for example, and that's pretty much it. But again, we operate in more than 90 countries.
That's very exciting. I mean, I think also like the way you're growing now, it also speaks to where like people are going. Because I feel like the overall sentiment is a desire for more stability versus like popcorning from place to place. Like I feel that sentiment in the air. So it's no mistake that you now have 17 million listings. You said you were in 90 countries and you've raised over $40 million. So what's
Yep.
the part of the journey that's really changed you as a founder the most in all of this?
Well, definitely, it's the way we look at many different things, even starting from the capital raise process of how we, raise capital, and to, building the team. As mentioned earlier, we are essentially decentralized company in order to preserve costs, and even to how we do, marketing. Because we do it in a very creative way, and if we going, for example, for the landlords specifically, and not for the tenants, and the landlords actually bring the tenants to us. So there's many tricks of how we do, and many kind of unique things of how we do this. But let's start for example, with the capital raise process. Initially, back in 2015, I thought that, okay, you need to go to the private equity houses, VC firms to raise capital, kind of the old school way. But then, it came to my mind, why not do go through the crowdfunding space, because
Mhm.
there's tens and tens of thousands of people that want to invest money into the companies pre-IPO stage, essentially before the companies go public. And essentially, we would offer them this opportunity, not just VC funds, but also to, retail investors. And that's how we did it, and what we did. So um, we went to the vfunder platform, Start Engine platform, Republic platform, and all of those platforms essentially they help raise companies capital through the retail investors, thus creating this massive pool of ambassadors, essentially
Mhm.
people who go out and promote the company, promote the brand. And this way you solve two problems. One is you get capital to grow the business. Second is you get ambassadors who go out and spread positive information about your company, essentially promote your brand. And this way you get more users. So it's much better than just to go VC route, get funds. But in the early stage, definitely, and what I recommend for others as well who are in that stage, is to look at the crowdfunding space, is to look for the retail investors, because at the end of the day, this is much more a winning strategy. At least for us, it was this way, because again, we raised capital, but at the same time we got thousands and thousands of people who brought hundreds of thousands of users to our platform. And that's absolutely changed the way we look at things, again, from the crowdfunding, from the capital raise process. And this is how we did all other things, building the team, as mentioned, that we have lots of engineers in other parts of the United States and Europe. So we are not just concentrating for Silicon Valley, because we do understand that people who give us money, we need to preserve that money. We need to spend it wisely, and not just hire the most expensive engineers and compete against Facebook or Google or
Right.
PayPal in Silicon Valley. Things like that.
What did each of these rounds unlocked? And did you start with We Funder and then go Start Engine and now Republic, or what order was it?
Yes, so that's pretty much it. So we started with a vFounder. We were the largest at that time. I think it was 2021. We actually raised the largest round on the vFounder, and the fastest. So we raised it within a couple of weeks, the full amount
What
legally.
was the goal back then with We Funder?
What was the amount?
Yeah.
It was about 2 million.
Wow. In
Uh,
2 weeks.
yeah, in just a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, 2
What do you
million.
attribute that to? That's amazing.
Yeah, and then on the Start Engine we raised 12 million, and then we basically scaled from there. So right now, for example, we have a limited time opportunity, because as we were planning to go IPO within the next 16-18 months on the Nasdaq. We even reserved our MTB ticker, that the stock that will be traded under our company. And so we offering this essential last opportunity to the retail investors to participate in the crowdfunding, would say, capital raise in our company. So if anybody is interested, they can go to the invest.rentberry.com. They can read more about our company, see the testimonials from the investors, see the traction, see all the required data about again about our company and about the progress, and then have a special promo code, which Nadia, we gave
Yep.
specifically to you. It's a unique promo code, and just because you're watching this webinar with Nadia, you will have ability to unlock a special price.
Yep.
And the special price is $1 per share. The public price of our equity right now is $1.85. So that's a huge benefit to all of the potential investors who wants to participate in our company prior the IPO.
Yeah, so you can scan the QR code on the screen, or you can also go to the link in the caption of this video to learn more and potentially invest yourself. So I appreciate that. And as I was saying, each round obviously unlocks something new progress, new milestones to be achieved in the business. And now with this most recent raise, a lot of that is going to be funding your movement and expansion in AI. Can you share a little bit more about what that looks like and the impact it will have on the trajectory of the business?
Absolutely. So we were talking about the AI. I want to tell you a bit of the history of how we started it even before it was kind of the mainstream. So back in 2024, beginning of the 24, our engineers started to integrate AI into our technology, into our platform by analyzing pictures. So essentially, every single picture that the landlord posts on our platform, the picture of the property, we analyze and we scan it for different things and for different images, or different items. Let's put this way in those photos, and this way we structure very detailed description of the property. So essentially, back then we started to save a lot of time to landlords when it comes to the property posting or property uploading. So this way they just add pictures, and we create description based on the actual pictures that the landlord uploaded. Also amenities, for example. So we analyze the pictures for different, microwaves, washer and dryer, kind of you name it, all of those different items. We mark the specific amenities that the property has, because in many cases, what could happen and what usually actually happens when people upload properties, they forgot to mention some things. And when the actual potential tenants, they look for different properties, they see, this property doesn't have microwave, for example, and I love to have microwave. But in reality, the property has microwave. It's just that the landlord forgot to check that box. But with our AI technology, we actually help landlords, and we, mark specific boxes on their
That's really
behalf.
cool. So it's like scanning like the interior, like getting photos of the interior of the home. I mean, like, okay, there is a microwave, there is, a in-unit washer dryer, and those are automatically getting checked so that landlord doesn't have to manually remember to do that himself.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Or for example, the view if the picture has a beautiful view, we actually describe, okay, this is a southwest location, for example, looking at the Hudson River, high floor, things like that. And then we also scan pictures for duplicates, because, sometimes people just upload some duplicate pictures of the properties in case if they have several properties in the same, for example, building.
Right.
So we do not like to have duplicates, so we remove duplicates to have kind of unique posting, unique listing of the property. So we started. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So yeah, we started with that technology, and then back in 2025, we said, why not even go further and create a special AI real estate agent that essentially would do all of the rental tasks on behalf of tenant and landlord in a very seamless way, so that the tenant wouldn't need to go and scroll through hundreds of different pictures and the listings of the properties and analyze pictures, analyze description, where all of that information can be done by AI real estate agent on the behalf of the tenants based on the unique preferences that the tenant would outline, such as I like want to have a beautiful view, I want to have microwave, for example, a king size bed, things like that. And then the AI real estate agent would analyze the properties. They would pick and choose the best properties for tenant, and they will communicate with the landlord on behalf of this tenant and even negotiate the price. Now, once it comes time to do the rental payments, again, AI real estate agent does everything on behalf of the tenant, such as do the rental payments or send the reminders to the tenant to submit the rent on time, things like that. So this is kind of the friend of a tenant that always nearby and always helps them to rent property in a most seamless and efficient way. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're creating an opportunity for, after the tenant has found their apartment, if they're searching on Rentberry, that after they can still continue to benefit from utilizing the platform, going as far as making payments to their landlord?
Yes, absolutely, and do maintenance request as well. So I can tell you even more expensive view of the platform. It's actually even more. It's absolutely amazing how we build this technology, this actual massive technology. We have more than 1 million lines of code to date. This is just to kind of give the overview of the
Wow.
how big the platform is, but essentially. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's not just even application process. It's not even the rental, property rental process where you pay for the rent. It's everything else that comes afterwards or throughout the rental cycle. So, for example, if you need the handyman or house cleaner or dog walker, you can do this through the platform. For example, if you want to buy tenant insurance, you can do this through our platform. So there is no need to go to Google and go to different platforms, leave your credit card in many different places, everything done in one place. In case of the maintenance request or anything broke, you can broke in the apartment, for example, you can really easily communicate this to the landlord or homeowner and basically find the person who will fix it in your specific zip code or area code. If you want to move out from the place, we automatically detect that you're looking for different places and different area code. And we basically understand, okay, so you probably will be moving out. We know where you will be moving out, and we will essentially give you the companies that do move service, like U-Haul, for example, that actually will come to pick your furniture up and move from one location to another location. So we help even in that regards. And all of this is actually we are different from Zillow, truly, and other companies. Why we are growing in such a huge space? It's because all the users that we get actually stay with us. So we do not need to spend for user acquisition again after 1 year or 2 years once the lease expires. When it comes to the classified websites such as Zillow, Trulia, Craigslist, things like that, so they help a tenant, for example, hypothetically speaking, find a place. The tenant went off the platform. They went to the place of the landlord. They filled out paper application. They provided very confidential information, such as a social security number, on the paper application without getting a place, without guarantee of getting the place. Then they left that information to the landlord. The landlord then needs to go and scroll through all of those papers, type the social security number to pull credit report, background check, eviction history, all of that kind of information. We do this all automatically, but we do not share the social security data.
Right.
So that data keeps private. So that's another beautiful part about our platform. And then, so, all of those things starts to become manual. So people actually went from Zillow platform into the manual mode, paper mode, essentially. Lots of paper. And then they forgot about the Zillow because there is no need to go to Zillow or Trulia or Zumper or any other platform because they are essentially useless from that point on. Because from that point on, you're dealing with paper, you're dealing with the landlord or a whole bunch of different other platforms to make rental payments, things like that. When it comes to our platform, it's absolutely different experience and unique experience because you found the place, and then every other step is done digitally through one platform, through one gateway, essentially, where you schedule open house visit through the platform and you have history of that, where you submit application through our platform. We automatically pull background checks, credit checks, eviction history, pull all of that data, and specifically just send required information or the most crucial information to the landlord, so they will pick and choose the tenant, but we do not share the social security number with the landlord. And then, once the landlord will, for example, select you, with a click of the button, they make a decision, you get notification, you got this place. That's it. You just schedule the time to pick up the keys. The place is yours, and you do rental payments through our platform. Do maintenance requests, prolong the lease, schedule moving services. All of those third-party services you actually do through our platform as well. So you stay with our business, and we don't need to spend another dollar to get you
Yep.
as a user again, because we got you as a user. You continue to be with our platform, and you happy, we happy, and and the money that we got, we can concentrate on spending to get other users, but not to
Exactly.
get not to get you again, because we got you as a user a year ago, and you stayed with us. Yeah.
And you also have a lot of variety of listings. I mean, I was on the platform perusing and I was like, I saw some great deals, even in very pricey areas like Brooklyn or LA or San Francisco, compared to, say, an apartments.com. Is that because the majority of the people listing are independent versus larger companies, or what do you attribute that to?
Well, we have special deals. So we have more than 70 different partnerships with the leading real estate companies, including Expedia, for example, a multi-billion-dollar corporation. We partnered with Expedia, we partnered with Realtor.com. Different partnership, we have a different essential different terms. That's why on our platform, for the most part, when it comes to the pricing, the prices are much more favorable to the tenants on our platform than if you would go to Zillow or Trulia or um, some other some other classified website, which primarily, by the way, they primarily have agents and brokers. And if you look at the psychology of agents and brokers, they get commission based on how high the price is, right? So they are interested in the highest price for the rental. So the highest the price for the rental, they get higher commission. When it comes to us, we have lots and lots of single-family homeowners, landlords, whose concern not so much the highest price, but the best quality tenant. So they're looking for the most qualified tenant because they want to preserve the home, they want to preserve their property, and if the property will be a bit, cheaper than, let's say, the market rate, but the tenant will be much more qualified, they better to take that tenant than to get extra, $200, for example, and have the property being damaged after the rental period. But again, we also have partnerships with the large companies, and because of the partnerships, we have special deals and terms. Yeah, and then yeah.
How do you see AI just completely reshaping this market? And how are you going to be like 5 steps ahead of your competition with this new agent?
Yeah. So great question. So we actually already 20 steps ahead of competition. To summarize it, because none of those companies yet even went to the AI direction. Potentially thinking about this, but none of them actually went and started to develop something, at least to our knowledge. So we did receive more than dozens of acquisition requests by some of the largest companies in real estate space. Last year, it was from the Canadian public company in real estate that wanted to acquire our technology. So definitely companies, they see that it's better to acquire us than try to compete against us when it comes to the technology, because we are so ahead of them. But we, again, not for sale. We going the IPO route, and again, we plan to have IPO within 15, 16, 17 months from now. But when it comes to the AI, we definitely see that this is the way to go, essentially in every industry, and specifically in real estate as well, because so much time you actually spend historically on searching for the different places, actually going through the negotiation process with the landlords, filling out all this paperwork, applications, and if somebody would be able to take all of this from you, can you imagine how much time you would save? Every single month, person needs to pay rent. Yes, every single month, something, you need to have a house cleaner, or potentially if you have a dog, you need to have a dog walker. once a year, probably something will break in the property, so you need to get that fixed. On average, the lease is about 1 year, 1.5, 2 years max. That's if you take about the average statistics. So you need to find another place, you need to find the moving services. We need to talk about the lease prolongation with the landlord. So lots and lots of manual tasks. And if somebody would be able to take all of this from the tenant, from the individual, they would save a lot of valuable time. And we all know time is money. So can you imagine how much money essentially individuals would be able to save? It's astonishing. And again, we are at the forefront of this revolution. Our AI real estate agent essentially can do all of this. We have even more deeper ideas of how, what to do next with the AI, and I can share with you this as well in a second. But again, when it comes to the AI, this is the future, definitely the future for the real estate industry.
What do you see like happening for Rentberry in the market as a whole within 5 years, and why is it like so important that people get involved now?
Absolutely. So the way the industry will operate, again, it will be a complete change with the AI technology and with the AI agents. What we envision, and this is what kind of we see as a future going forward, is that AI will expand even further, where the landlord, they will not need to make pictures of the property with the furniture that they got. This is kind of will be the old historical moment, old days. In the future, they will just take a picture of the property. The AI will scan automatically the room without any furniture, without anything, and then they will propose based on different budgets of what kind of furniture to put into the room. So for example, if my budget is $1,000 as a moving expense, for example, in the apartment, I will select $1,000. So the landlord, they will take a picture of the room. So AI will recognize how big the room is, where the window, where's the door, where's the walls, where are the sockets to plug things in. And then based on my budget, AI will recommend, okay, I will recommend you this sofa, this table, those chairs, and this is a budget of 1,000. And then AI will also tell me where to go and buy this furniture. So for example, I say, wow, I like it, or I can scroll and swipe and say, no, I don't like this design, let's do something else. And based on my preferences, what kind of colors I like, do I like leather or more like a material things, right. Upholstery, for the sofas. And then basically I can pick and choose different furniture from different websites that AI will recommend me where to buy this furniture. As a company, we get revenue share from those companies that sell furniture. But this is a simplicity that AI will have. They will absolutely change even how, again, properties are uploaded, because everything would be done based on specific preferences of specific individuals. And then even, when it comes to the searching for the place. So our AI real estate agent is very technologically advanced. It's not just doing simple things. So for example, I want to have a picture, a property with a view, and we analyze pictures. No, it even goes further, where I can say, I live for example, or I have a job in the Soma district in San Francisco on this specific street and intersection. Find me a place that would be 10 minutes away by public transport from this location, or find me a place which will be 30 minutes away by public transport, that would have the middle schools that are rated 9 and up, or find me a place which is closest to the Whole Foods supermarket to buy groceries, because I do not want to drive to the grocery shop. So it's even does more complex things as to analyzing my preferences, what I want, how much time do I want to get from one place to another place, what kind of schools I want to have, what kind of noise level I want to have. For example, in San Francisco, we have trolleys that makes,
Mhm.
lots of noise. So as an AI real estate agent, I can say, okay, find me the street which is a quiet street, or have a crime rate which is much better than the rest of the city, things like that. So AI analyzes my preferences, picks and choose specific properties based on my selection, again, my preferences, and yeah. So it's definitely
It's
it's
very
definitely
concierge. It's very streamlined. I love
it is.
that.
It is, and it's very, very technologically advanced, but at the same time, it's very unique. It's not very straightforward. Where, okay, this is a place. Do you like it? No. This is a place. Do you like it? No. But I got those places just because randomly they are in the specific zip code you outline. No,
Yeah.
it's much more advanced than that, and that's the future. The future is definitely automation, and the future is definitely where people will be saving tons and tons of valuable time that they can spend elsewhere and do some useful things with it.
Right. And I think a lot of the times people will just be like, oh, well, that's the only place I could find. Like, I'm just going to go for that instead of thinking like more detailed or adding more nuance into their search. And you're really going to be solving that problem with your AI agent. Now, I do have a question because you mentioned that you are also going to be, you're moving into the sales side. So people who are, actually listing homes for sale, is your AI agent going to be operating in a similar manner for that side of the platform?
Yeah, Nadia, great question. This is absolutely something that we will do, but once we get closer to the IPO, and that's actually why we raise funds. We'll be raising funds via the public offering on the Nasdaq. Is because we will need that capital in order to expand our product offering and our technology, not just in the long-term rental space, but also into the, for example, selling and buying properties, because that space is unique by itself, because you now have touching on the legal aspects, because you're selling and buying something that's
Mhm.
very expensive. So you need to have very polished the legal side. We already spoke with a number of legal companies in the AI space that also automate lots of things, and our goal is to do partnership with them, where the
Mhm.
legal part of the agreements when people actually buy and sell properties will be done by the AI legal companies, and we on our hand will close the rest of the transaction when it comes to searching, kind of competing for the properties via transparent way, kind of transparent auction um, process, and then actually getting the place, moving to the place, moving furniture into the place, things like that.
Throughout our conversation, I've heard the word partnership come up a lot, and I, hold the same mindset that I feel like a lot of growth can be unlocked through the right strategic partnerships. How do you contribute your growth to the partnerships that you facilitated over the years?
Great question. So we grew internationally through the partnerships. So this was the best way to grow, because when we did expand into other countries, not many people locally knew about our company, about our brand. But through the partnerships, through the companies that already established there, that's how people found out. We're finding out about Rentberry, about our company, about our technology. So partnerships is definitely the most powerful way for us to grow internationally and expand our company name on international markets. We partner in absolutely different ways with different companies, starting with the properties exchanges, where they put properties on our platform and we do revenue share with them for those properties. So it's kind of a win-win situation, where they get revenue, we get revenue, but we get exposure to the local properties, to the local landlords, to the local property managers, homeowners. things like that. And at the same time, even automation. So uh, all the partners are interested essentially to get more revenue. So we have the unique technology which they do not. And even if they will bring tenants to us and landlords, essentially even parts of the two parts of the equation, they still get revenue from that. But we got exposure to the customers, to the users in the local markets that now start to recognize us, start to utilize us, and it's in the in the long run, we definitely also win with those kind of partnerships.
Are there any partnerships that you're hoping to unlock in the next phase of Rentberry's growth?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have Dan, who is our chief partnership officer, I would say. So he's responsible for partnering with different companies. There is some big names in the process of being closing, basically in the closing stage. I cannot really mention right now because the contracts are in the signing stage and it's confidential, but we definitely will announce it and it will be public information within the next, I would say, 60 days. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, this has been such an illuminating conversation, Oleksiy. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me about
Thanks.
your journey, about the company's journey. My final question for you is like throughout all of this growth and transformation for Rentberry, what has transformed the most in you as a founder?
Uh, well, definitely. Um, oh gosh, this is a hard question. Hold on. You asked me questions.
Right? The hard hitting questions. Yes.
Transforming the founder.
I mean,
Mm,
yeah, just think back to, the investment banker you and now where you are now, sitting on over $40 million raised, headed towards an IPO for a company that's taking on some of the biggest players in real estate and long-term rentals. Like that's huge. I mean, you've
yes.
probably been so busy that you haven't even been able to sit and really think about how you've transformed over all these years.
Uh, yeah, I mean, definitely when it comes to the company that we developed and built, it's amazing achievement. I guess one thing that's definitely changed the way I look at many things is that first of all, you definitely need to be very creative when it comes to different things. Marketing, capital raise, building the team, um, you name it. Like all of those things, you're not supposed to be very old school linear type of to have a linear type of mindset where you always think kind of like a mainstream, right? You're supposed to show creativity. You're supposed to be fast when it comes to making a decision, not doing 25 times thinking about this over and over again. If you like something, run. The faster you run, the faster you get to your goal. If, for example, it's not the thing that um, you're looking for, then run another direction, but basically run. Do not walk, do not stop, do everything fast, and always be creative when it comes to the decisions that you make. And
Mhm.
that's why for example, when it comes to the capital raise, that's, I think, this is the first moment when we started to understand that we cannot go the kind of the old school mainstream way to the VC funds, even though we have plenty of VC funds that invested in our company over the years. But at the same time, we realized that to have ambassadors, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of ambassadors, it's actually very important for the company in the young stage, in early stage, because those ambassadors becomes your users, and at the same time they become and spread the positive word of mouth and attract even more users, which is much more beneficial and much more needed for the company in the early stage. Definitely once you grow and you become like post IPO type of thing, definitely that becomes of a less of kind of, not even requirement, but less of important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's as an investment banker. When we started, you mentioned that I was investment banker, and as an investment banker and finance executive, you tend to do everything by the book.
Yes.
DCF model, attract buyers, M&A deals, IPO deals, things like that. So everything is done by the book. But when you run your own company, you tend to become you tend to basically run the marathon, but again, run, not walk the marathon. So
The
yeah,
marathon, but understand that sometimes along the way you might have to take an unexpected path to cross the finish line,
absolutely.
which it sounds like creativity, resilience, and flexibility are some three of the main values that have helped you power through and now raise over 40 million, over 10,000 retail investors, and now heading towards an IPO. So everyone, make sure you scan that QR code on the screen to learn more and potentially become an investor yourselves in Rentberry. More information in the caption as well. Oleksiy, thank you so much for being here with me. Was there
Thanks.
anything else you want to share before we sign off?
No, that's it was amazing interview, amazing webinar. Nadia, really loved um, to be here, and thank you for inviting me over. And yeah, so to everybody who is watching us, again, we are in the pre-IPO stage. We have lots of VC funds who invested in our company, but we decided to have this one little perk, essentially as a thank you to the retail investors, to have this small retail public round available to the retail investors, and before we going to the IPO on the Nasdaq, before doing the IPO on the Nasdaq. So please go to invest.rentberry.com, and please enter the special promo code which Nadia has, and Nadia will tell you, and you will probably see it on the screen. And yeah, you'll have a very special deal, special price per share, and looking forward to have you as our investors and ambassadors.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. And everyone, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.